It is time for you to have your Thursday morning dose of encouragement in the Wingman Merch crew. I look forward to these weekly, I was going to say calls, they're not really calls, but Facebook Lives. I look forward to them very much, and for a couple different reasons, actually. First, it helps me a lot. We're all, as human beings, I think we're all kind of center focused a lot of times. And I'm certainly just as guilty of that as anybody here. But I also am a giver and a helper at heart. And so what I find with these Thursday morning Facebook Lives is that I get the best of both worlds. And so while this isn't a Facebook Live about Christie and what's important to Christie, I think we can all kind of take a little bit of that home. Or away from this call for yourself too, that it's good to have this encouragement for yourself and then ways that you can share it with others. But I was kind of touched this morning or inspired, or I'm not even sure that I want to say that I can find the right word, by what Stephen had posted earlier, and about how, what their criteria is for letting people into the group, and where those thoughts and feelings are based from. And so it led me to a thought process of what is community and how does community help your business. And I think it's really important. I think it's really, really important that we think about this as a much bigger thing than just a group. I think, one of the challenges that we have as entrepreneurs is that for many of us, we had experience in trying to start a business before our merch business or before our Amazon business or Etsy or Shopify or whatever it is that you're focusing on right now. And the reality is that in a lot of those earlier attempts, we were really given this idea of, I would call it that it was a community environment, and some places were successful at that and many others weren't. It was more about taking dollars from you and not really helping you in your business. And so we kind of had to have this, misguided idea of what this community is based on some of our past experience. I've been talking the last little while about mindset, and I think, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, and the more I grow within my own mindset, I might end up having that be like a whole focus of my future business and how to help people with mindset, because I think it's that important. But what does it have to do with community and what my title is here? I think it has to do a lot with that. So I want to start with just what, a basic description of what community is. And you can look it up. I mean, there's lots of different definitions for community, for sure. This is my definition of community, or how I see community. And it's a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, common interests, and common goals. And that's why we're here. The Wingman Merch crew, when we all first came here into this group, and as new people are coming in, it's primarily to do with merch. But as Stephen has said, his goal and Nate's goal for this group is to go much beyond that, to have it be a much bigger thing, 10 to 15 years from now, to have it be a community of people that have businesses that go beyond merch. And so what I want to talk about today is how community is about relationships. If we can't build relationships here within the Wingman Merch crew, relationships with each other, we certainly aren't going to be able to build relationships with people outside of this group. And those are people that we can potentially partner with in order to be able to build our business. That shouldn't be the goal of relationships, I don't believe. Not for me, myself personally, at any rate. But that's a byproduct of building relationships, and it's certainly a way for you to grow your business. And I think what made me, again, kind of hone in on this particular topic was Stephen talked about the member who had responded to the questions. There's just 3 simple questions that you ask in order to get into this group. And that member had said, money, money, money. Yes, we need income to move forward with our business. There's no question about that. We can't work for free. We have bills to pay. there's no doubt that money has to come into play. And Stephen talked about that. He said, certainly he understands that money is an important thing, but that wasn't the appropriate response. And I agree with him. I agree with him 100% on that. I probably agree with Nate a little bit too, that Stephen, you take things personally. I can speak about that because I used to be more that way, and I'm a much happier person now that I acknowledge that it doesn't have to be that way. That's something we'll work on. But if your business is only about money, this isn't the place for you. This isn't the group for you. And you might be thinking to yourself, this is supposed to be encouragement. Oh, how is that encouraging? Because you need to recognize that. I think you need to understand what this group is about. By understanding what this group is about, and by understanding the value that comes from that, that is really what long-term is going to build your business into something that's going to be very successful, something that is going to be a place and a system and a format that is going to bring you the most amount of income, the most amount of joy, and hopefully with the most amount of relationships as well. You'll get so much more here if you build relationships too. And relationships can be about asking questions. That's okay. In fact, I encourage it. I encourage everybody to ask questions. The more questions that you ask, and the more interaction that happens, the more relationships that are built. And to be honest, if you don't ask questions, and if you're not really very transparent with the questions that you ask, and really very vulnerable with the questions that you ask, you're going to limit yourself in what you can learn and how fast you can move forward. So I really encourage that as well. I think I want to reinforce the fact that this group was built by two people that have really big hearts. And I really want you to hear me on that. There's so many groups that are built on what can I get out of the people that come in? How can I monetize off of that? I have nothing wrong against monetizing from a group. It goes back to, bills need to be paid, businesses need to be built. But if the people starting those groups, if their attitude is money, 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 then the people that are within that group are not going to get the maximum amount of help that they can get. So I think it's really important for everybody here to realize that this group was built on big hearts, and that's a really important distinction. And it's one of the reasons that I remain here, because of those big hearts. I've learned so much. My business has grown so much, and I've seen so much more success because the people that lead this group have big hearts. And I would really encourage you, I know Stephen talked about how the group just passed 900 members. I'd really encourage you, if you know people out there that are struggling, you might want to introduce them to this group for sure. If you care about the people around you and you want them to be able to see a path, a bigger path, bring them on board. But help them to understand that what we're building here is a community. It's a community of like-minded people that build relationships with each other, that teach us how to build relationships with other people, and how that can grow our businesses. So what does that mean for you? At the end of the day, what this group is for you, it's to have a group of people that care about each other, because that is, Stephen talked a little bit about how the direction has changed with the Wingman VIP group. And I think that's part of it right there, is that, that was an unexpected bonus perhaps, or certainly it's how the evolution of that group has happened, is that it's a group of people that care about each other. And that's true here within the Wingman Merch crew. It's not just the VIP group, but the Wingman Merch group, where we're at right now. It's important here too. It's a group of people that care about each other, that feel that they belong. I think that it's important that everybody here feels like they belong, that they don't feel like an outsider. And that goes back to being transparent and vulnerable about asking questions. Really put yourself out there, because that's how we can get to know you better. And by getting to know you better, That's how we can help you better. And I'm not talking about, I'm not putting myself in the same place as Nate and Steven, but I am putting myself in the same place with other givers in this community that answer questions. Nicole, Stephanie, I'm missing other people, I know, but there are people here that want to help you. And if you feel like you belong here, you're going to be much more able to be transparent and vulnerable in those questions so that we can help you. And you need to have the belief that together we can build great things, both for ourselves and for others. It's this capacity that we have within ourselves to not only help ourselves, but to help others. I think I know I've read this somewhere, and I certainly know it to be true. But when you help other people, and that's not the right word, let me go back. When you teach someone else, so like if I have a bit of knowledge and I teach somebody else that knowledge, it's in the teaching that I further understand what is being taught myself. Does that make sense? And so, if I learned how to tie my shoe and then I taught you how to tie your shoe, I also, it really embedded itself even further into my own psyche. And so what happens, and that's a perfect example of when you help others, you can help yourself even more. You can help others to be able to build what they're doing. And then it's, for me, again, win-win situation. So in bringing things back down to basics and how community can help your business, if you bring it back down to that, your business will succeed to greater heights if you have community. And that's really what's offered here, in the Wingman March crew. It's a community of people that share common attitudes, share common interests, and share common goals. But even beyond that, it's a group of people that care about each other, that feel like they belong. And I want to encourage you, if you're not there yet, to please let us help you. And that we have the common shared belief that together we can build great things, both for ourselves and for others. And so I just really wanted to take the time, both as an encouragement for you, and as also for myself as a thank you to Steven and Nate, because without their big hearts and without the culture that they started with this group, none of this would be in place. And so, if you have a few minutes, it might be a good idea to say, hey, thanks, guys, show them some love, and say, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do here. And also, I would encourage you to ask your questions, make yourself transparent, make yourself vulnerable, and have the belief system that together that we can build great things both for ourselves and for our business. I hope that's something that helps you today. I know that it's a good reminder for myself. It's always a good reminder for myself. So you all have a wonderful day. I am so grateful to be here. I'm really grateful for anybody that has helped by these Thursday morning bits of encouragement. And if there's something that you'd like to have me, a topic that you'd like to have me talk about, or a way that you're struggling and need some encouragement, please reach out and let me know. Post it in the Facebook group, because I can guarantee you that there's somebody else that has that same struggle. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'm looking forward to talking to everybody next week. Take care. Bye.